We talk about the deep state, we talk about the globalists.
Inflation versus deflation. Well, I mean,
You're at Mar-a-Lago.
I'm baffled that this isn't front page news.
Do you guys support a specific political party, or do you dislike both of them?
Oh, it worked like a charm on you guys.
Let's go, Brandon.
What's up, guys? Been a while since I did one of these, but there's so much dumb stuff going on, dumb stuff being said that just had to come out and talk a little bit about what's going on. So, I mean, we got this fake attack today that Iran comes out and does against the U.S. air base in Qatar. Seems just totally a saving face thing where they're trying to show like they did something, and like the dudes, there's like videos of U.S. military personnel like watching it, laughing, cheering it on, not a worry in the world. So it seems like that was like a thing from 2019 when we took out Soleimani, and they just told us, yeah, we're going to bomb the spot. Watch out, we're going to bomb you. And, nothing serious happened. And then Trump comes out later, or a little bit later after that, saying that there's a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. And then just like a couple minutes ago, Iran starts bombing the hell out of Israel. So a lot of stuff going back and forth as to whether or not there's a ceasefire. Some people are saying there is, some people are saying there isn't. But I mean, don't really mind a regime change in Iran. I mean, like I get the America First thing. Like, totally, there's so many more things that we should be focused on. Like, I care about the cost of living in America. Don't really care about Israel all that much. Don't really care about Iran all that much, to be honest. But could also, like I've always acknowledged, that it would be a good thing for the world if the people of Iran revolted and, got a more stable government in place. But very low down on my list of priorities. But the thing is that's really pissing me off is that we're eating up this narrative of the nuclear thing. Like, can we just admit that there wasn't freaking nuclear weapons in Iran? Like, they weren't enriching uranium. Tulsi came out in March and said that they hadn't worked on it since 2003. And the only intel that we got saying that there was enriched uranium that was, months and weeks and days away from being a weapon was from the freaking Mossad. That's where we got the intel from. So I'm not buying that. And, you got all these cross currents. You got, like, everybody in the world believes that. The people who disagree with the attacks say there wasn't nukes. And then, Trump says this attack was totally effective, took out all the stuff. And then, there's satellite images of trucks that were taking the stuff out of these laboratories days before the attack happened. And, there's reports from Russia saying that the labs are still intact, or that they still have enriched uranium, et cetera, and that they're even threatening that other countries that oppose this could now give Iran a nuclear weapon as a response for this. So it seems like things are heating up, to say the least. But I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about what I think is the driving force behind all of this. And I think that's Netanyahu trying to save his freaking ass from the impending legal doom that he's wrapped up in. I mean, I have a little bit more of a deeper dive episode coming out about this in a couple of days, but this guy is all jammed up on these bribery charges, these charges where he was trying to influence the media by giving them lucrative deals to allegedly give him positive coverage or squash stories, et cetera, et cetera. And then, he gets jammed up. I don't know if you saw the documentary called The BB Files, but this freaking guy, he's being interrogated by the Israeli police. They bring in the Adelsons, Sheldon and Miriam Adelson are in this documentary being interrogated by the Israeli police. And they're like, oh yeah, I don't know, what do you want us to do? And the prime minister asks you for something, you have to give it to him. And then Netanyahu was trying to say it as if they were pressuring him to do things and offering the favors in return. So became this whole disaster that was really looking like it could put him in jail. And then he goes farther right and gets these like extreme guys in his government and tries to change the way the judicial system works, tries to like upend the Supreme Court. And, there was these million-person protests in Israel in 2023. And what is the thing that ends up making all that go away? That would be October 7th. the thing that we still don't have clear answers on as to how a bunch of dudes that live in caves and underground tunnels were able to penetrate the most secure land in the world on freaking dirt bikes and paragliders. We don't seem to be all that interested in that. But you know what it did do? It did really take a lot of pressure off the back of Netanyahu. So I would say that for Netanyahu, October 7th is one of the greatest things that ever happened, because he could be in jail right now very easily if October 7th didn't happen. That distracted everybody. You know, they were on the brink of a revolution in Israel before October 7th happened. And then everybody got focused on the war and revenge. And it's an interesting thing to note that Netanyahu was asking Qatar to give Hamas $30 million a month leading up to October 7th. And his justification for that is that he didn't want to legitimize a legitimate political regime in Gaza. So he wanted to prop up Hamas to stop that from happening. But man, that sounds really bad with what ended up happening, because you could sort of say that Netanyahu gave Hamas the ammo, literally and figuratively, that it needed to do what it did on October 7th, and to, you know, be such a thorn in the side of the Israeli government and justify them going into Gaza and just clearing house. So that's a whole lot of shady stuff that nobody wants to talk about. Then you got this month, earlier this month, I think it was June 3rd to be exact, first time ever an Israeli prime minister is being cross-examined in a legal case. Like, the walls are really closing in on him. And then all of a sudden, we just need to bomb Iran. I mean, I still haven't seen any intel that's non-Mossad intel that says that they did have these nuclear enriched uranium threats that everybody's clamoring about. So, again, get into this whole big thing that distracts from the legal trouble of Netanyahu. So I think his legal trouble is really what's driving Israeli foreign policy right now. And I think he's the enemy of the people of Israel. I mean, you know, you say anything about this thing and people say, oh, you're anti-Israel, this and that. No, I think that the people of Israel should be furious with Netanyahu. I mean, he's putting himself in a position to shine right now because, you know, everybody in Israel's obviously always wanted regime change in Iran, and now they're going for that. I don't care what anybody says. This is not about nuclear weapons. This is about regime change. And the annoying thing about that is that you got freaking Reza Pahlavi out here talking about how he's going to lead the coalition to have a new regime in Iran. I have a clip here now of Reza, and I find this guy really frustrating to listen to. We had him on PBT podcast before, and he's a very nice guy, but I mean, my God, like, do you not have a bone for vengeance in your freaking body, dude? Like, if this shit happened to you, if it happened to any of you where your family is ousted from leadership in a country and you're thrown out, and then your brothers and sisters of your nation are being held captive by these psychopaths, these mullah psychopaths, like, they all want to be set free from this. And they're looking to you to come back and be their leader, and you're afraid, and you're just dipping your toe in the water. You're not diving right in. Like, you'll never have more momentum in your life than you have right now. Like, I mean, listen to what he's saying. Like, he's doing everything but saying that he will be the leader of Iran.
Members of the international press to continue. The time has come to end this ruin and begin a new era for Iran. This is a new dawn for Iran's lion and sun. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past few days, I have spoken with people across Iran from every walk of life. An officer in the armed forces, a mother fleeing Tehran, a factory worker from Tabriz, a young woman, activist for the Women Life Freedom Movement. These voices represent a nation embattled but resilient, that is not asking for its freedom, it is fighting for it. From the 1999 student protests to the Green Movement, to the 2017 Dema and 2019 Abanma uprisings, thousands of Iranians have given their lives in the fight for Iran's liberation. Today, millions of my brave compatriots continue the fight. One of their stories moved me deeply. In September 2022, Jawad Haydari was murdered protesting the Islamic Republic's killing of Mahsa Amini. His sister has continued his fight. She's one of the hundreds of activists the regime has arrested and hurt. The difference in these two roads depends on one factor, and one factor alone: whether the current regime in Iran is allowed to survive.
It's up to you,
If
dude.
the West throws the regime a lifeline, there will be more bloodshed and chaos, because this regime will not submit or surrender after it has been humiliated. It will lash out. As long as it is in power, no country and no people are safe, whether on the streets of Washington, Paris, Jerusalem, Riyadh, or Tehran. There is only one way to achieve peace: a secular, democratic Iran. I am here today to submit myself to my compatriots, to lead them down this road of peace and democratic transition. I do not seek political power, but rather to help our great nation navigate through this critical hour towards stability.
Yeah, so you get the point. And like, Reza, nobody gives a shit if you're willing to be part of the group that funnels in the new leadership. Like, you're the only dude that has name recognition in this freaking country. Who else is it going to be? You know, like any Iranian person you speak to, they obviously know and adore the Shah, and they know Reza, and they want him to be the next guy. Like, I don't understand why he won't freaking do it. But like, he's saying like, oh yeah, this is our moment to do it. The West can't squander this moment. Then dude, you can't squander this moment to be the leader. Like, it's really not up to you. Like, if you're going to have a serious go at regime change, get in there. You know, but he's just like stubbornly not willing to do that. But like, even if he's afraid of freaking death, you're like, what is life worth if you're not worth taking that type of an opportunity and that type of a risk? I mean, like, that is like the ultimate thing there. Like, that's the story of what is it, like Hamlet and Lion King and all that. It's like going back to take your freaking empire that was taken from your father, and you're turning that down. It's unbelievable to me. Like, ever since I heard him say that 2 or 3 years ago, I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? And now he has the chance to do it and he won't do it. It just blows my mind. But yeah, like I said, the Trump's ceasefire seems to not be true. He said that earlier this evening, and then just within the past hour, Iran is bombing the hell out of Israel. So now we got to talk about what could come next or go wrong. I mean, everybody's worried about the Strait of Hormuz. Now, could Iran theoretically block the Strait of Hormuz? I mean, yeah, sure, temporarily, but they're not going to do that for long. And it's like, yeah, they have Navy mines, they have fast attack boats, they have submarines, blah, 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 blah. But the U.S., the Navy's Fifth Fleet, they're right there, based in Bahrain, and it's permanently stationed in this area, and they have everything necessary and then some to wipe all that stuff off the face of the earth within a couple of days. So, like, at the very most, they try this shit. If they try to block the Strait of Hormuz, like, watch what our freaking Navy does. And I mean, as much as I hate this escalation and think it's unnecessary and reckless, like, I don't have strong Candace Owen type feelings of like, oh, this is like the worst thing ever, or like Tucker feelings about like, oh, it's the worst thing ever. Because I mean, in reality, like the B-2 bombers that were used to take out these supposed nuclear sites. Like they've been sitting there collecting dust for 20 years. We haven't done anything with them. These things cost $2 billion to make one B-2 bomber. $2 billion. And these mop bombs, these bunker busters, the ones that weigh like 30,000 pounds, like same thing. There's like 30 of them in the world. They cost hundreds of millions of dollars to build. They've been sitting there collecting dust. So whatever. It's really not any kind of a loss to us for having done that mission. But I mean, like, so help me God, if we even entertain the notion of sending U.S. troops on the ground there, then, anything's on the table in terms of resisting that. So I don't think it's going to go in that direction. Like, it wouldn't even make sense from like a military standpoint for Israel or America to try to do anything on the ground there. It's like the place is crazy. It's like a mountain fortress. So that's not going to happen. I can't imagine that happening, but I do think they're going to push regime change because I think that this whole thing has been about regime change. I don't think it's been one iota about these nuclear sites, because these nuclear sites aren't any different than they were last year, the year before, the year before that, the year before that. And that's what the consensus was before this special Mossad report. And I thought it was so interesting how it was a week after the assassination attempt on Trump that, who is it? Anthony Blinken comes out on TV and says, oh yeah, we're thinking it might have been Iran that did this. And they're also like a month away from reaching nuclear enrichment enough to build a bomb. So, I mean, shit, that's weird timing. That's really weird timing for them to come out a week after the assassination attempt and say that. And then now it's like Trump's number one thing. So I don't know, maybe that's the reason that we don't know a whole lot about the Butler, Pennsylvania shooter. Trump seems to have no interest or desire to get to the bottom of that, which, I mean, I think any normal person in the world would be super curious about who took an attempt on their life. So bottom line with the Strait of Hormuz, the Iran mines can be cleared, ships can be protected with convoys that are trying to go through that area. And Iran forces would get wiped off the face of the earth if they try to do that shit. Like our Navy's insane. Those submarines that we have, those nuclear submarines, these like the battleships, like we have like a mobile air force. So I'm confident in saying that Iran will not try anything but the Strait of Hormuz because they know exactly what will happen with that. And just the fact of like the lack of a strong response by China, I think shows how this attack might have earned back some much needed clout and respect for America in terms of like what exactly we could do as a military. Like, you're telling me we can bomb like basically an underground base underneath the mountain on the other side of the world within 36 hours using 6 vehicles, basically. Well, more than 6 vehicles. General Raisin Kane gave a breakdown of it. I think there's like 20 in total between Navy, Air Force, and these refueling jets and all that. But yeah, so, and then Trump comes out with this tweet where he's saying it's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? And he says, MIGA, I'm saying that with an M, by the way, MIGA, make Iran great again, which, yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm not confident the Middle East would be stable after that because, then what are we going to spend military money on if the Middle East is stable? But yeah, I think the vast majority of people in Iran have a captive, like a prisoner's mindset where they feel like they want to be set free. So I hope they do it within. That'd be the best way. That Iran's leadership's a little bit distracted right now. The people got to get after. They got to do it from within. So, I mean, I also think that there's outside. Like, I literally think that Netanyahu and Trump went into this with the mindset of regime change. I don't know. Prove me wrong, but that's just what I thought from the beginning. And I'm not like a Candace or Anna Kasparian where I'm pissed off about that. But I just don't like to loudly proclaim bullshit like Laura Loomer. Or I mean, she's just like in full on psycho mode where she's like playing the police against anybody who questions Trump on the right. I mean, it's madness. She's a crazy one, but yeah, I don't see this really spilling into something big like people are worried about. Like, I don't think China's gonna get involved. I don't think Russia's gonna get involved. I think they're talking to their ass when they say that another nuclear power country is going to do something about this. They're going to supply Iran with the nuclear capabilities. I mean, that would definitely escalate things quickly. But I think this thing will simmer down. I do. I mean, I like letting our military do its thing, with minimal men on the ground and maximum using this next gen technology that we haven't even seen or touched or done anything competent with in the last 20 years before now. So that's where I'm at with that. I think I don't think a regime change can happen in a clean way without, one, Reza, and two, a ton of help from the West. Because I mean, think about that. Play that out. What does it look like if the supreme leader just suddenly dies tomorrow, whether it's like, brute force regime change or bad health or assassination? They're like killing off all the people around him left and right. So I don't think that the foundation of the mullahs is all that strongly held together right now. And that could create a pretty ugly power vacuum. Like, remember, this place is like a 90% Shia place, and they could get rowdy. So like, it's like you have to be ready to go, like ready to pounce and like assist in this regime change, which sounds disgusting, sounds messy, sounds expensive, sounds like the Iraq war. Definitely don't want that. So, like, what are they envisioning for this like clean, flawless regime change? Like, they just imagining like marching somebody in there and they're going to be accepted and that we're going to just be able to dip and turn our eyes on them. Like, as much as we hate the CIA, supposedly that's why a lot of things fell apart under Jimmy Carter, because he really went after the CIA, and then a lot of coups happened against governments that were friendly towards America. So it's a double-edged sword sometimes. So that's where we're at with that. And I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of everything that was going on. I'm sure we'll have some more stuff tomorrow, but yeah, I wanted to get back out with the live stuff. And by the way, we are doing a group in Connect Circles called VT Research, because I'm the head of research, and I want to build a network of highly intelligent, highly curious people who want to contribute to the type of content that we put out there in the world to see. I mean, guys, the other night when I was on PBD podcast for the emergency podcast, it was the most watched live stream on YouTube, 120,000 at its peak. So, if you want to kind of have a hand in having the ability to at least get a story to us, get some information to us, something we might have missed, it's a great group for you to be a part of. Because I mean, like, we're in there all day. We're just like firing off stories, clips, PDFs, articles. And like, you could help us set the freaking narrative. Like, we're not trying to react to the narrative. We're trying to set the national narrative for the news, because we are taking over. So if you want to be a part of that, check out VT Research in the link below. I also pinned it in the comment section. So if you enjoy what we do, give that a thought, give that a look, and I hope to see you there. Much love. I will see you possibly again tomorrow night, but if not, definitely a few times per week with these 20 to 30 minute live streams. Miss you guys. I'm glad to be back tonight, and much love. I will see you soon. Goodbye. Good night.